Cooper and Cronkite News, congratulations on the win. What do you think about just the youth of this team as a whole and where it might be able to go down the road in the next couple of years?
Well, the objectives for the camp for us was to deepen the playing pool by giving opportunities to less experienced players in high-pressured situations. So I think we've achieved that by playing everybody in our squad in these first two games. The second was to develop a better understanding and application of our blueprint, our way of playing, and that we could close the gap from the players that are the most experienced to the least experienced, developing the technical and tactical application of those things and see where that missing gap is. So as I've already said, in some instances it might mean that some players are ready for now and some are ready for later, but we won't know until we test that out. And finally, I think because it's a tournament setting, we get to emulate everything that comes with that and help develop the players in their application of everything you do the 22 hours off the pitch. So I think we're doing that. And we played a high-quality team, very experienced team. So for our players to produce a result like that, I think is a really healthy indicator of our programme and the talent pool that we have available to us.
Anyone else in the room? Go ahead.
Hi, Emma.
Hey.
Jose Romero, Arizona Republic. What made Lynn such a difficult matchup for Australia today? I guess she's probably done it a million times to other teams, but in particular today.
I've said it a lot of times about Lynn, but I'll say it again. She knows who she is. She really does, and she knows the strengths that she brings to this team. And that threat on the back line is such that whether she starts, whether she comes from the bench, she knows she's always going to cause opponents problems. And I think she's really driven, but also very comfortable in the national team in the sense that she's really clear what her role is and the application of that. So I think she stretched them really well today. It was a great start from the team. Really good first 20, 25 minutes from us. And, she did her job, albeit, still very early on in her pre-season. But I can count on Lynn, and she's someone who's extremely valued by everyone in the team.
And a follow-up, Michelle comes in just a few minutes after subbed in, scores. What do you tell these players who come in, some making their debuts on the national team, some with only a couple of games experience, but what's your message to them going in as they come into the game to be so active right away?
It's dead simple. This crest is an honour for each and every one of us to rent for a while. So enjoy every minute of it and know that we all belong. We're all good enough to be here. We all deserve to be here, and express yourself in a way that only you know how much you have put into getting yourself to this position, and to be mindful that I'm on the receiving end of so many people fulfilling their dreams. So it's such a fantastic moment for me and for someone like Michelle. She said to me at the end, she was like, I was just so excited to score that I took the ball off of Ali Centner. And she apologised to Ali. And I said, don't ever apologise for scoring. This is business. I appreciate, you both want to help each other out, but we want to win. And maybe you were in the best position to do that. And you did score. So celebrate that. And I'm sure Ali Centner will score many goals in a US Women's National Team shirt.
Let's go online to Jeff Kassouf. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Emma. Wondering, Emma, what was your assessment of Jaden today and how she played? And just relatedly, you've talked about the abundance of players that you have who maybe prefer the 10 or prefer a position. You have more than you can necessarily play. So as you assess that and looking long term, are you looking for, okay, this will be my number 10 and this is the person, or are you looking at that more situationally?
Well, first of all, I thought Jaden played really well. I thought she grew in the game. I thought she was excellent second half in the pocket. And her ability to link with the forwards, I think, really showed. in the second half as the spaces opened up. I think you see with that combination play, when she held the ball up and threaded into Ali's centre, I mean, it was exquisite. It really was. It was high level, technical execution from her, and I'm really looking forward to her development this year. She's changed club. I know she's very excited for her year ahead, and I think it's important to remind everyone she's still 20 years of age, and rather than pigeonhole her around, is she going to be this, is she going to be that, let her develop, let her flourish, and let her do it in her own way, in her own time. But I am very confident that Jaden is not only a very important player to us, but she will impact our program in a profound way. So for now, she just needs to focus on all the little details, whether it be a 10, a false 9, whether it's a 7, 11. I genuinely believe Jaden can play any of those positions, and I think I just want to support her to develop at that.
John?
Just to follow up, Claire.
Yeah,
with
go
the
ahead, Jeff.
debut,
Yeah.
Sorry, just Claire's debut. Could you touch on what you made of that?
Well, Claire is a player who, opting to go through the professional route. You can see at her age, there is a maturity to the way that she plays. I said it before about it was an important game for Corbin and her in the sense that they're both players that like to move a lot, and getting them to be more disciplined positionally as low support options. I thought they were so diligent in the first half that, if anything, they were too cautious. But that's because I'm asking them to do something which is uncomfortable for them. But I felt the second half, they got the opportunities to face forward a little more, and they grew, both Corbin and Claire grew into the game. But like anyone, she's 18 and it's pre-season and it's her first international cap. So I felt 60 minutes was the right way to manage her, and I'm super pleased for her because I know how much today meant to her.
Tanner Wald, you're up.
Thank you, Aaron. Hi, Emma. Congrats on another win. I want to follow up on Claire Hutton and sort of what you see as her tactical potential, what she can be for you, and knowing that Vlatko Antonowski is going to develop her on the club side and potentially be able to do a lot of different things with her. What sort of direction do you see her being able to go in?
Again, I think 18 years of age, that I don't know the full answer to that, but what I do know is that she's a left-footed centre midfielder and they're rare. So having the ability to progress the ball up the pitch, down the sides, and you've got a left footer on the inside is such a quality that is underrated. So I think that adds huge value for us. That's the first thing. Second of all, she's a student of the game. She's constantly asking questions, constantly applying learning, and her tactical understanding is really high for someone her age. But we just need to give her the support to progress in the right stages at the right time, knowing that there's no straight line to the top. It's, it'll have its bumps, and I'm sure she'll have them, but I think it's a very good start for her senior national team career.
Sylvia Bullock, go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry. I just wanted to continue on the conversation about debuts. Can you just talk a bit about Giselle Thompson's first start today?
I think when you're coming up against one of the best wide players in the world in Caitlin Ford, that is no easy feat, because Caitlin is very clever to play on the shoulder of the last player and set herself up for the diagonal balls into those areas. And I thought Giselle showed a tenacity and a good aggression in her individual duels. I think Denise can have a big impact on some of that decision making on like when to get tight on the first ball and when to look to win the second ball. So I think we can add some value in the defensive department for her. But I think she showed some really good intent going forward, some good link up with Alyssa. you can see they naturally want to give the ball to each other, and I think that actually settled them both being on the same side. And I think it was a really, really good debut considering she's playing probably one of the best wingers in the world in current form. So really, really good start for her.
Last two, Marco Monteverde. Go ahead. Can you unmute yourself, Marco?
I like his name.
Me too.
Hi, Emma. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, mate.
Sorry about that. Emma, I just wanted to see what you thought in general about the way the Aussies played after the thrashing that they received last week against Japan.
Well, I think one of the hardest games to play in football is to play the team that just got thrashed for many reasons. One, because they've got a lot of pride and they're a top side, and rarely does it happen twice. So I think after the first couple of minutes when we went 1-0 up, one or two things happened. Either that team falls apart, which they didn't. I actually thought they recovered really well, particularly after the first 20 minutes. But I also thought they caused us problems the second part of the first half. You can tell I got a cold. Sorry. And second half showed great resilience to come back into the game at 2-0 down, which you've come to expect with the Australian programme. And I spoke with Tom after the game. We both know we have to develop players, and with that comes indifference in some parts of the performance because you're forming new connections. But I think they showed their qualities on more than, multiple occasions, and recovered really well from, as you said, getting thrashed the other night. Nobody wants that to happen twice.
Before we go to Andrew Jones, one from me for our cameras. Emma, you have a match coming up that is a must-win to win a tournament. Your just thoughts on getting a game like that this early in the cycle?
Well, it's just the perfect game. It's just what you want. And I think Japan, you can see on current form, scoring lots of goals. The quality of their play is so, so high. I think they're one of the top teams in the world. This is the perfect game for where we are at to learn a lot about ourselves, because I am certain we will have to suffer, because the way they dominate the ball, the way they progress up the pitch with their rotations, with their dynamic advantages, I'm looking forward to watching. I love watching Japan play anyway, so I'm excited for the challenge. We could really use our fans. Like, these are the games when you want to make home soil advantage count. So I'm going to encourage those to come out in the San Diego area. And there's a trophy to be won. So let's get at it. And I respect the hell out of them. They're a brilliant team, but we want to win.
Last one goes to Andrew Jones. Go ahead, Andrew.
Thanks, Aaron and Emma. Hope that you will be feeling better over the next day or so. And congrats on another win. You had a good chat with Steph Catley after the match. Talk about that bond that you have with her and your Glendale debut. How did you like the fans out there today?
To be honest, Steph and I were talking about the fact that we both had colds. She said she had been poorly all week, and I said I've been getting a little bit of a cold throughout the week. I said the only difference is she has to go home to rainy England and I get to stay here. So, I mean, what a player she is. I admire Steph Catley so much. So always, good to catch up with players that I'm used to coaching against. And I love Arizona. I love the weather. I love the climate. I love being the big outdoors. On my day off, I went to the McDonald's farm the other day and went to a petting zoo and
got to meet Michael Phelps.
Went to a cookout and met Michael Phelps and Alison Schmidt. I mean, and you know what my staff said as they walked out the room? They were like, "We've got one gold medal between us. There's 20 odd between them
27.
two." Well, we didn't know the number, but I mean, what a humbling. Two world-class athletes supporting our program. It was super nice to meet them, and hope they enjoyed the game.